People in their 40s and 50s with no children. How does it feel? Story 1. I'm very glad to have been a part of the lives of my brother's kids. But I would have been a terrible parent myself. So, it's all good. I'm only 29. But this is where my head is at. I'm so excited to be an aunt. But I have no desire for children of my own. Same. But I probably won't get to be an aunt either. And I'm not too sad about that, to be honest. It is what it is. I was such a duck up in my 20s to mid-30s. By the time I got my shit straight and found a person I wanted to spend the rest of my life, I was about to turn 40. We both agreed that ship has sailed, and it's selfish to force any thoughts of children on kids that would be in high school when I'm in my 60s. I love my nieces and nephews, my best friend's kids. But that's it. My parents had me when they were 39 and 42. Their age never bothered me. I didn't feel like they were old at all personally, especially my dad, because he was active and fun. Maybe sometimes parents think about this stuff more than children. I feel like early 40s isn't that old to have children. Just take care of your health and try to live long for them. Yes, I adore being an aunt. I mean, I'm technically in my 30s for a few more days, and the kids are very young. But, like, I took the toddler to the zoo on Friday. We had a blast. She's pretty little to get a lot of it, but she really loved watching the meerkats zoom around their habitat. But after then I was physically destroyed for the rest of the day. But I got to give her back and go rest. So, it's perfect. I could never ever keep up with a kid 24/7. Story 2. I definitely think it was the right choice for me. Gotta be honest with myself. I am a little lazy and selfish, and while I think I might have been a decent dad, I don't think I would have been a happy one. I never understood the argument that if you do not want to have kids, you're a selfish person. You're selfish to who, exactly? A potential human that doesn't exist. I'd argue it's selfish to have kids, because you're doing it for your own desires. For me, it's not that I'm selfish, in regards to like my mom or dad or family or whatever, but that I am literally selfish and would resent the child for making me spend all my precious time taking care of it. I know I would never hurt the kid, and would do my best, but I know I would be miserable deep inside for the 20 years they need my constant care and supervision. I hold my own time and my own hobbies too precious to forsake them for 20 years for the benefit of another. I am literally selfish. Context: female, 44, no kids, married. Selfish is seen as a negative trait, but it isn't that simple. Knowing you would be miserable, which kids often pick up on but can't explain, doesn't make you selfish for not having them. It would affect them. Most people are a level of selfish anyway, because otherwise you'll be taken advantage of. But the simple fact that you'd still try to raise the kids and not just abandon them to adoption shows you're not as selfish as you think. Truly selfish people wouldn't do that. This really puts things into perspective for me. People always say they think I'd be a great dad. I think I could have been a good dad. But my happiness definitely would have taken a back seat. Maybe as a dad I would have been okay with that, but maybe not. And I'd hate to blame my lack of happiness on my children, who would have had no choice in the matter. I feel this exact same way. I might have been a good dad, but I already feel pretty overwhelmed and busy, and like I don't have enough time to pursue my hobbies and interests. What with working full-time in a career that I take very seriously, and is fairly demanding, and needing to balance my interests with that of being a supportive and present partner in my marriage, and maintaining a home and friendships. I've never really been that interested in kids, but I bet I could have pulled it off and done a good job. But I really worry that I would have ended up resenting my children for absorbing the rest of the limited free time I have left to myself, after my other adult responsibilities are fulfilled. And I've never really had any interest in it. So, it's not like something I would undertake joyfully. I imagine that I would probably grow to like it. But even doing things with my 3-year-old nephew, who I love so much, starts to feel like a chore after about half a day. The only serious relationship I had before I met my wife ended after 5 years. because she changed her mind about having kids. And I was upfront from the beginning that I didn't want them. So we decided to go our separate ways. So she could do that. And there's never been a single second of my life where I think, what if, about my decision to go my separate ways because of it. I've gamed out having kids to myself a million times. It's not something I take lightly and feel very confident in my choice. Edited for clarity on my thought process. I love my kids more than anything in the universe. They make me smile, laugh, and bring out the kid in me that I thought was long gone. That said, they have also given me a huge amount of stress and make me exhausted constantly, especially when they're young. It just never stops. There are no sick days for you or mental health days. You're busy from dawn and likely before, to dusk and likely after. If you work a job, good luck taking time off after the birth without your bosses rolling their eyes, because you're a guy. Having a kid has made me and my wife even more pro-choice. Because, damn, I could not imagine doing all this if I didn't sign up for it. Story 3. On the one hand, I seriously envy my friends who have 2 lovely sons who are now in high school. On the other hand, I'm glad that I'm not my sister and brother-in-law, who have 2 spawns of Satan who are 4 and 6. Edit. Who would have thought that my top comment ever would be calling my nephews spawns of Satan? They're absolutely a high-energy handful, and frustrating to deal with right now. But they are good kids, and I love them to bits. I just moderate my time with them to save my sanity. My sister is a mess, and my parents had to step in and basically raise her 2 kids. My friends are at the stage where their children are becoming adults, and some of them are royally ducking up their lives, watching my parents deal with my sister, and my friends deal with their kids. I'm so glad I didn't reproduce. I don't have one regret. People always assume their kids will be great. In reality, it's a crapshoot, and you could end up with kids that make your life hell. My uncle is living this at the moment. His 30-year-old daughter has had her 4 kids taken off of her, and he stepped in to foster them, so they don't get put into care. It's slowly destroying him, though. 4 children with presumably high needs, having been taken from their mother, and assuming your uncle is in his late 50s or 60s. Dear God, I can barely do it day to day with my own children. Imagining that situation is breaking my heart for your uncle. Sadly, this is very common across America. Grandparents stepping in to raise grandchildren that they don't want lost to the family. These are people preparing for their retirements, taking on the responsibility financially, physically, and emotionally of young children or babies that often have special needs. In some cases, they still have a living parent who also requires help. I watch these incredible people in amazement. How they keep going, often setting aside their own care requirements, is incomprehensible to me. We never know what life may throw our way, no matter what choices we carefully make. That's the way I feel. Some kids make me broody. They're cute, polite, well-balanced, and easygoing. Most kids, though, are like screaming, tantrum-filled, iPad-glued, misbehaving, snot balls, whose entire purpose appears to be to cause stress and make mess. Those ones make me glad that we aren't able to have kids without medical intervention. And as a result, my wife and I have decided to have a child-free life.